Oh, okay. Well, I guess at this very point, we're going to continue forward with another installment here. Honest J. Nowak, Bandtastic Part 2. Episode number 2107 is going to give us another rock band that was founded in 1992 and in the state of California. Blink-182. This band itself has had a pretty notable history, especially in the 90s and 2000s, and may not necessarily have the glam or popularity as most others today, but it does seem that it holds itself a legacy, especially with their top hit, All the Small Things. And for the record, this is one of those bands that technically adheres to some sort of sexual innuendo, which I feel that most people have thoroughly associated themselves with by this point. After all, just the first 10 years alone, they did make several albums worth of music, and I sure have had myself a lot of time just to hear these guys pulse pounding and rock harding all night long. So, I guess from a perfect standpoint, I can begin to describe Blink-182 not just as a rock band, but as a staple when it comes to pop culture. And some people might not realize it. The fact is, though, while they are making music today, it's quite fair to say they've dropped off quite a lot since day one. Not necessarily surprising, because there have been lots and lots and lots of bands that have unfortunately not done so well over the years. And there's a number of benefactors that are unfortunately part of the reasoning for this. For number one, sometimes the members can have disagreements with one another over certain topics that might come down on them. And they might have themselves a bit of an argument every now and then, and they might look at each other differently over the years for some other reasons other than just this one little problem that could take place. The second thing to worry about here when it comes to understanding how rock bands can sometimes dissipate over time is because they don't do too well. Sometimes they just don't have performance in life. And that's totally understandable. But one third thing that I can also input here is that sometimes people are going to look at rock bands nowadays like a complete joke. I mean, if it wasn't for rock and roll, then at least 90% of the music industry would have never existed. Electric guitars are the reason for electric anything when it comes to music. People have thought that the usage of synthesizers at first were kind of a weird debate, and they were somewhat strange to be inputted into music. But as we've learned from such hits from the 70s like Machine Gun, Fox on the Run, and who could ever forget, many, many others would follow. And the reason is simple. Because the usage of electronic components within songs has become quite a staple. Even to this very day, you ever wonder why synthwave is so huge? Because the original synthesizer was a big deal back then. No one would have ever seen it coming until it hit them in their ears. But going back to Blink-182 though, they have a number of albums out there. Quite a big number to deal with here. So I guess we can go ahead and start off with probably their best known, Enema of the State. Yeah, not much to take away here. Quite a way to pretty much start with. But then it gets even better as time goes on. One called Take Off Your Pants. Wow! I don't even know at this point. Oh, sorry about that. Oh man, I just can't believe it. Sometimes, I guess some bands are not talked about very much anymore because the influence that they drive is quite a story worth telling. Oh man, so I guess that's just it then. Not much more to say here. But I gave you a good rundown of what the band is and what they've done over the years, the kind of history they've had, and all that good stuff. So that's just the bottom line here when it comes to these episodes in HTN. So stay tuned for the next bit, if you will.